Hey guys, what's going on? It's Alex here with this time it's week 3 NFL predictions. So last week, had some crazy upsets. Who would have ever picked the Las Vegas Raiders to beat the New Orleans Saints or the Minnesota Vikings to get just steamrolled by the Colts? But outside of that, we're on to week 3. I went 12-4 last week. That puts my grand total. That puts my current record at 23-9. I'd say it's pretty respectable so far. So now we're heading into week 3. The injuries just tore everybody apart last week. So it's going to be some interesting things going on this week. So first up, Thursday night we got Dolphins and the Jaguars. This one. See, this one I think could go either way, but I think Minshew Mania is gonna come in and defend Duval County. I take the Jaguars to win this one. As much as I like Fitzpatrick as a person, he's really hit or miss, and I still think they might want to consider swapping to Tua sometime soon, just because Tua has a chance to be a star. But we don't know yet because we've not seen him play. So I know injuries are always going to be a big worry about him, but I think him and Devontae Parker are going to be a good match. Next up, we've got San Francisco traveling to New York to face the Giants. This one was a pretty easy one for me, even though San Francisco did lose, 3 defensive starters? No, 2 defensive starters, and Solomon Thomas and Nick Bosa. They did lose Jimmy Garoppolo and Raheem Mostert. I'm still going to take the 49ers in this one. Giants, they performed a lot better than I thought they would against Pittsburgh and Chicago. But I still don't think they're ready to take on the defending NFC champions and the 49ers. They still have a lot of talent there. And even though Nick Mullins might not be my favorite person to lead this team, it would be hard to fail behind that really strong core. And San Francisco is really deep on the defensive line front. So I take San Francisco to hold strong here. I think they're going to keep Danny Dimes in check. Next up, we got Washington traveling to Cleveland. This one, I don't know. This is another one that could go either way because we've had a lot of pretty even matchups in week 3. But this one, I think I'm going to have to go with Washington. I think. I don't really have a reason for this. This was just going to be a complete guess. I like what I've seen out of Washington so far. I know last week they went against a really tough opponent, so I wasn't expecting a win last week, but now they're playing the Browns. I said it before, I'll say it again, Browns should be a 10-win team minimum with the amount of talent that's on that team, but I see the Browns finishing this season 8-8 or worse. So I'm going to have to take Washington on this one. I really love Dwayne Haskins, and I hope that he gets a better shot to succeed. Hopefully Washington can build around him in the future. Okay, so we've got Cincinnati and Philadelphia, and I'm going to probably sound stupid again, but I'm taking Cincinnati for the 3rd week in a row. Now, whenever I looked at the schedule before, I saw Cincinnati going hopefully 6-10 this year. Now, my hopes have been going down the drain as Cincinnati's been failing to perform, but they're going against Philadelphia, who, again, gave up 8 sacks to the Washington football team. They've still got a lot of starters hurt on the front offensive line. A lot of people hurt all throughout the team. I like Cincinnati's odds here. And if Cincinnati can't win this one, I think we're looking at another top 3 draft pick scenario coming up, maybe 3-13 at best. This is one of those must-win games for Cincinnati to show that... Yeah. Now, I will say I love Joe Burrow. Through 61 attempts last week, 0 interceptions. I know the scores might not have been there, the completions might not have been there. AJ Green was 3 for 13 on receptions to targets. I'm hoping he improves because he still has the potential to be an all-star, but not with what he's showing us right now. I've said it before, I don't think Carson Wentz, unless he has time to actually build a pass, he's not going to be able to do much. I don't think he's a very mobile quarterback. So I think if Cincinnati can pressure him, they should have Geno Atkins back this week. if Cincinnati can keep the pressure on Carson Wentz, I think that they're going to get. I think they're going to go get the win in Philly. Okay, Las Vegas and New England. This one, I mean, I've doubted the Raiders all year, but I'm gonna keep doubting them. New England looked strong last week against Seattle. Cam Newton seems like he's falling right into place. He did have 397 passing yards to go with another, 50 rush yards. I think Cam Newton has found his rhythm in the New England offense, and I think they're going to defend the home turf in Foxborough. Las Vegas, I mean, they put up an impressive showing, but that could also have been due to New Orleans giving up 135 penalty yards, which I've never seen a number that high. But that definitely helped Las Vegas to secure the win at Allegiant Stadium, I think is what it's called. Yeah. So I think New England's probably going to be much more disciplined than New Orleans. So I think England's going to pull away with this one. Chicago at Atlanta. Atlanta, you really screwed me up last week with forgetting that you can recover an onside kick before it crosses 10 yards if you are the receiving team. If Atlanta dives on that ball, they win the game. So, but for this case, I think I'm going to take Chicago. Chicago defense has been pretty strong, and the offense is average, but that should go strong. That should play well against the Falcons offense, who really hasn't been performing as much as I thought they would this year. I mean, they did put up 39 points against Dallas, but Dallas is without a couple of their defensive starters as well, especially Leighton Vander Esch. So I think the Chicago Bears defense, which is still very strong in the league, probably a top 5 defense still. I think Chicago is going to hold strong and keep Ryan, Gurley, Julio, and Ridley in check. Next up, we've got the Los Angeles Rams and Buffalo Bills. This one, I'm going to take the Bills. For the simple fact, the Bills have been on fire lately. I mean, Josh Allen is already over 700 passing yards for the year. He is on pace to have a record year for him. He's vibing well with John Brown, Stephon Diggs, and that defense is still one of the best. I would say they're probably a top 3 defense in the league. So I think I don't think the Rams are ready to go travel to Buffalo. It's going to be a lot colder for them there. And I don't think they're going to be able to get much going against the Bills. Same thing about Jared Goff that I said about Carson Wentz. I don't think he's the long-term future. I think he's going to be replaced sooner rather than later. All right, next up we've got the Houston Texans, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think I'm going to go with the Texans on this one. Now, they've not had good showings in the first 2 weeks, but they did go against back-to-back. They did go against the 2019 NFL MVP and the 2018 NFL MVP. 2018 NFL MVP and the 2019 NFL MVP. The defending Super Bowl champions and the number 1 seed from last year. So they had some really tough competition for the first 2 weeks. Pittsburgh, while Pittsburgh is good, I don't think Houston's going to have too much trouble with them. I look for this game to be fairly even, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are not quite ready for the Deshaun Watson experience. So Tennessee Titans travel to Minnesota. Minnesota put up quite possibly the worst offensive performance I've ever seen outside of Nathan Peterman's 5 first-half interceptions. And if Kirk Cousins can't get it in shape, I don't think he's going to be finishing out his contract with Minnesota. He did go 11 for 26 for 115 yards and no scores to go with it. A couple interceptions as well. I think the Tennessee Titans, while they're not looking like the same defense we saw last year, I think they'll be enough to keep Cousins in check. He really only has Adam Thielen to throw to now with the loss of Stephon Diggs, and Thielen seems like he's struggling being the sole big name target on that offense. Now the Tennessee Titans defense, like I said, still we still got to work out the kinks from the offseason. The offense is still firing pretty solid. Derrick Henry is a top 3 rusher statistically right now. I think they're going to still rely on Derrick Henry, but they're going to run right through that Vikings defense. So I take the Titans on this one. Panthers travel to Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles put up a really strong show. They put on a really good show at home. So that's why I think I'm going to take Los Angeles in this one. They did take the Chiefs to overtime, just quite couldn't get it done. That was a lot better than what I would have expected after watching the Week 1 matchup with Cincinnati. So Justin Herbert looked right at home behind that offensive line. And, I think Carolina, they're not quite ready to go against that. I love Teddy Bridgewater, but they're going to be without Christian McCaffrey for the next 4 to 6 weeks. He's kind of the keystone to that whole offensive scheme. So I think Los Angeles is going to take this one. Next up, Jets and the Colts. This one I think has potential to be the most boring game of the week. For the sole fact, I don't think Phillip Rivers is what he used to be. I don't think he's going to be a good fit behind the Colts. He seems like he's struggling quite a lot. Last week against Minnesota, I think that was more of a defensive game. Like I said, Kirk Cousins only had 100 yards, just over 100 yards on 26 attempts. I think the defense is what won that game, but I'm still going to take the Colts to win this one because they're playing the Jets. The Jets, I think, have potential, more than likely looking at a top 5 draft pick this year, especially with the loss of just about every big name player they had on their roster. So I'm going to take Indianapolis to win this one. Cowboys and Seahawks. This one, I think I'm going to have to go with the Seahawks. Seahawks have put up really good showings in the first 2 weeks. Russell Wilson playing like the MVP that he always is. He's really just lighting up defenses. Dallas Cowboys gave up 39 points to the Atlanta Falcons and nearly blew that game. They only won it because Atlanta Falcons, the special teams unit, just forgot they had brains. So I don't like the Cowboys' odds here. Seattle's always been a tough place to win at, and I think Seattle's going to hold strong. I think they're going to win it by at least 2 scores. Next up, we've got Detroit and Arizona. Arizona's going to take this one, and you know why? It's because Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, and Larry Fitzgerald, that trio of talent is going to be way too much for the Detroit defense to handle. Matthew Stafford I don't think he's going to get much done behind that strong defensive going against that tough defensive front. So I think the Cardinals are going to stroll through their 3rd win of the season. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Denver Broncos. I think I'm going to have to... This was another tough one. Because everything in me is saying go for the Buccaneers, but the Broncos might have a good shot here. I'm going to go with my gut, say the Buccaneers win this one. So just because they seem like they've got their flow down, they're getting more into a rhythm. The closer we get to midseason is when we're really going to see Tom Brady really get comfortable in his new system. I think they're going to be able to take it against Denver, but this one, again, could go either way. Denver has been looking pretty all right in their last couple games. The game against Tennessee, they had a real good shot to win it, but they didn't manage the clock very good. They were snapping the ball with still 30 seconds on the play clock. If they can manage their time better, I think they're going to be a really good contender. Next up, we've got Green Bay at New Orleans. This one's going to be a good one. I'm glad it's a primetime game. But I think I'm going to go with Green Bay on this one. Now, this is crazy because I would normally take the Saints. But after last week's discipline issue, I think Green Bay is going to be able to pull off with this one. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams are both looking mid-season form. The connection there is great. Aaron Jones just ran off with 45 fantasy points last week, so he's coming off of another big showing, and historically he's had really strong back-to-back games. So I think Aaron Jones is going to have a light-up game. He's going to rush for, I'm going to say he's going to rush for at least 100 yards in this game and find the end zone 2 or 3 times in the Packers' victory in New Orleans. And last but not least, the Monday night game. This one's going to be a good one. It's Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. This year, I'm going to have to go with the Chiefs. I mean, I hate the Ravens, but I can't deny that they're one of the best teams in the NFL right now. But Kansas City has been pretty solid. I mean, with the exception of the Chargers game, which I think that one could be chalked up to them not being prepared for Justin Herbert. I think this is going to be a really high-scoring game. Both defenses are pretty solid this year, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to get it done. I think it's going to be no more than a one-score difference in this game. I think Kansas City's going to roll right into their third win of the year. Baltimore Ravens going to take their first L of the season. But anyway, that is my Week 3 predictions. There's some bold ones in here, so I'm hoping that things go good. So far, we are, like I said, 23-9, so not bad. But anyway, guys, if you guys like this video, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to help the channel, go get that share button, share to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you feel right. Thanks for being part of the Uncrafted Nation. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody.